Week's episode? Don't worry, you can always tune into e360tv.com to hear great conversations on business and financial raw talk. LaWanna Bradford and Bert Oliva, a leadership This week's episode? Don't worry, you can always tune Financial Raw Talk, a no-holds-barred forum for leaders and innovators with award-winning business strategist and financial analyst LaWanna Bradford with the Bradford Group. With Raw Talk, we are empowering women to rise and succeed in business and finances, and improve the world for the next generation. Get ready to get raw and real. Live each Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on e360tv.com.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Business and Financial Raw Talk. I am LaWanna Bradford with the Bradford Group, as well as the Bradford Group Consulting, also known as the Connector. So if you're looking to connect your dreams and your visions with a strategy to get results, contact me. If you're looking to connect your dreams with the money that you need in order to expand your financial portfolio, you want to contact me. Today, I am so excited because I have a very special guest on Business and Financial Raw Talk. And for those of you who are joining us for the very first time, this show is designed to help expand our consciousness and our application of business principles, tactics, and strategies. We're going beyond the tried and true, the been there, done that, got the t-shirt. And we are really trying to challenge ourselves in this new environment. The world is changing rapidly, and we want to make sure that we as business owners, as leaders, as influencers, that we are riding the wave and not being overtaken by the wave. Today, I have a very special guest, Mr. Bert Oliva, who will be joining us. And in fact, I want to get out of the way of this amazing introduction and let you watch a video that is going to tell you who this amazing, impactful gentleman is. Here we go.
The following is rated R for results and may not be suitable for the negative mind. Bert Oliva is an international orator, as well as a renowned authority on leadership and human behavior. For over 2 decades, Bert Oliva has touched the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. He speaks around the world about his experiences, and his teachings have enchanted audiences all over the world, showing them the power of mind over matter. Bert has a dedicated social media following and an impressive online influence few possess.
People are looking for that hedge, you know?
And you know who's going to get us there?
You tell me.
Bert Oliva.
Hi, Bert Oliva.
Enabling him to communicate with all kinds of audiences.
Considered the voice of inspiration and motivation.
He has developed many programs, recorded audio CDs, and written books, all of which to help those ranging from individuals to corporate and Fortune 500 companies. He has dedicated his life to speaking all over the globe and met some of the most influential and powerful people in the world.
Okay, let's go.
He has also coached highly successful business executives and politicians.
To influence millions of people around the world.
Make it happen.
We're making it happen.
Bert Oliva is a success and the father of humanology. So get ready to learn tools that will help you tap into your potential. Get ready to connect and be part of a positive, world-changing mission. Get ready to have an experience you won't soon forget. Please help me welcome Bert Oliva.
Welcome, Bert.
Who was that?
Who is that masked man?
I want to get to know that guy.
How are you doing, Bert?
Good. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be part of not your show, your conversation.
Thank you for saying yes. I know your schedule is really busy, and I think you just bring a wealth of knowledge and experience that our audience can benefit from. And your video highlights what you have done, but it doesn't communicate the impact that you have made and continue to make around the world. Because when you change one person's mindset, the way one person shows up in their business, you've changed the trajectory and even impacting the next generation. And that's pretty profound, Bert.
Yes, I believe that too. Thank you so much. But that's one of the things that when I first started this whole journey, it's been over 28 years now. I always thought about just connecting with that one person. And today, these new influencers always talk about, oh, you need to reach many. And I believe that one person can be the change of the world. So yes, exactly what you said is what I believe in. Is just being able to connect with that one person, to me, is just great. But I've been fortunate enough to connect with more than one person around the world.
Yes, yes, you have. And speaking of connections, and I just love the way you never know how your an introduction can later lead to a relationship. You and I met, I want to say it's almost 5 years ago, at a women's prosperity network. And I remember that was the first time that I broke a board. and I remember I was just trying to use all my force and might, and you're like, no, LaWanna, it's a mindset thing. And that really impressed me. And I knew one day I wanted to have a conversation like this with you. Now, the interesting thing is, Bert, this platform didn't exist yet. I didn't have any talk shows, but I knew I wanted to do it. So I guess I put out that intention, and here we are today.
Well, not only did you put out the intention, you put out the action. You see, that's what I was having a conversation this afternoon with a new mentee that I have, and he's like, I read The Secret. Oh my God. And I put all these things on the wall, and I can't wait for it to happen. And I'm like, no. In the law of attraction, both English and Spanish has the word action, acción. So you have to take action in order to have these shows and the things that you've done. Yes, you manifested it. Yes, you thought about it, but you put it into action. And that's why you have it. And a lot of people tell you, oh, she's lucky. No, it's not lucky. It's the work that you put in order for this to happen. I truly believe that.
Yeah, I agree. Today, we're going to be talking about the secret sauce to plan for results. And to our listening audience, we're here with Bert Oliva, who is a leader in training on leadership, entrepreneurship, and human behavior. As his video said, he is the father of humanology. And I want to get into that very deeply, Bert, because when we think about planning, especially in business, our strategic plan, we hear, okay, well, it's just the delta between where you are now and where you want to be. Well, yeah, I simplified, yes.
Right.
But what I see as a missing secret sauce is that human component, right? If we don't have buy-in, if we don't have strategic engagement, if we haven't identified who our customers are and then how to connect with them, it's a pretty flat plan. So I'm going to turn it over to you and share with us whatever you'd like on that.
Secret sauce. All right.
Sauce, humanology.
Put a little bit of tomato sauce and a little bit. No, I mean, what you said is exactly it. A lot of people, especially in our world right now, a lot of people are being sold that they should become influencers. And everyone is doing it for the most part. Not everyone, but a lot of people are doing it just to feed their egos. And then they go back and say, well, this is not working. I'm not earning money. Maybe I need to go back to a corporate job or just even a job. You know, at the end of the day, you need to know who you're marketing to. You need to know what is your niche, because once you find your niche, that's when you become rich. So at the end of the day, not just getting on the platform, not like for example, LaWanna, with everything that you're doing, it all ties in back to financials. Why? Because that is what your expertise is in. So yes, you can talk about real estate, you can talk about, insurance, but it's all about finance. And that's what I tell people. Look, when you want to do something, whatever it is you want to do, I truly believe it's possible. My mama told me that. My mom told me everything was possible, and I believed her. So the thing is, when you're opening up a business, one of the main things you need to do is do your due diligence. And nowadays, it's a lot easier than back in the day. You have the social media platform. You have, being able to go on YouTube, being able to go on other video platforms and being able to find out what it is that you're going to be an expert in. And stop calling yourself an expert. Wait till other people do that. Stop being self-proclaimed. Once people actually tell you that you're an expert, then you finally made it to that expert status. And just go out there and give it your all. It's not going to be easy. And everyone will tell you that, it just takes 5 years. It could take you 5 years. It can take you 10 years. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And those that succeed a lot faster than others is because they're sticking to their niche. They're not jumping on to the next great plan. Or like, for example, so I saw a lot of my speaker friends that have been doing it for years. I've seen them jump into real estate. Then they jump out of real estate and then they got into Bitcoin. And then they jump out of Bitcoin and, whatever the next hot, topic is or trend. Don't follow the trend. Stick to what it is that you're really good at and you will succeed. And eventually it'll become a trend too, like everything in life, right? Because like when you mention what it is that I do, I've done leadership and human behavior. However, humanology is a scientific study of human behavior. And I love that. That's what I really love, teaching people the power of the mind, the power of words, breathing patterns, all these things that can change your life. However, that wasn't as marketable as leadership. And that it took me a while to realize that, because they're like, oh, I don't want to be read. I don't want you to be in my head. So leadership was the one thing that once we started promoting, what it is that I do as a leadership expert, the doors opened up. So like I said, find what your niche is and stick to it. And for the most part, that will work. That itself is your secret sauce. And don't jump around.
And I like what you said, that sometimes when we're bringing in new ideas, new concepts, if the world isn't yet ready for the type of message, then we have to go through a door that's more acceptable to them. And that's what you did. It's like, okay, you didn't change your passion and the influence in that arena, but you came at them in a way to allow them to be more open, more expansive, to say, okay, now I'm ready to receive what this might be. Whereas if you had come and said, nope, this is the new way we're going to do things, you would have, I think, hit more doors rather than windows.
I was hitting more walls. I was hitting the wall because a lot of people even compared it to Scientology. When they heard the word humanology, they're like, oh, you're one of those. No, it's not that. I truly believe in the power of the mind. And then, well, wait a minute. If I stick to leadership, then that let me get into corporate companies. That let me get in front of more audiences, right? Because that was something that they can relate, something that they knew that they've seen before. Just I stood out. And then once I'm there, I'm like, by the way, let's talk a little bit about your mind. Let's talk about the subconscious mind. And they took it in a lot easier. So a lot of times it's not trying to make new things, new terms. Find the term that's already working and that people know and they can relate with. When you say finances, I understand finances. I've heard of it. Even if I don't know anything about finances, I'm like, if I want to make more money, I think it has to do with finance. Let me go ahead and listen to LaWanna Bradford. And then you can bring in the new terms. A lot of people are trying and bring in new terms and everything. And it's just, some people may know the term and a lot of people may not know the term. So you're like hitting that wall and saying, why is it not working? Just realize that you can always put your twist in it, but at least go ahead and cut down on the marketing by bringing things out that people already recognize. Anything, if you want to find out more about what it is that we're doing, we have 3 companies that are really successful. I'm going into my 4th company. You can find out all about me. Just go to meetbert.com and decide what social media platform you want to follow me on and reach out to me. I believe it or not, I do look at my social media. I have a team that's watching it all the time, and we do respond to, and actually not, when I say we, it's not we, I actually respond to a lot of the people that comment on my posts and everything. So don't be afraid. Go out there. If you are following someone that you look up to or someone that you want to get information from, reach out to them. The dumbest question is the one you don't ask. Stop living in the sidelines. Go ahead and push yourself a little harder every day, just a little bit. I'm not asking for you to do crazy things, even though that's a whole different seminar. And I talk about being crazy and crazy people succeed. Don't worry about doing extreme things. One little thing every day will get you closer to where it is you want to go in life. And I want you to really enjoy this process of living. Stop letting life guide you. Stop people opinion. Don't not allow other people's opinion of you become your reality. You're going to be judged no matter what. So my question is, are you going to go ahead and worry about what everyone else is saying, or give them something to talk about? The quote I live by: I want you to live life and don't let life live you. My name is Bert Oliva, Cuban born, American made. Looking forward to connecting with you.
This has been amazing, Bert. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining me on Business and Financial Raw Talk. To our listening audience, I hope that you took away a couple golden nuggets, got some ahas, and are giving some insight on how are you really showing up? Are you living authentic? Are you in that niche that's designed just for you, designing the path that you want for success? And if you feel that, well, maybe I'm not
Real
so
quick, can I share one little thing?
Look at him. He's stealing my wonderful thunder. Go ahead.
Oh, wait. One thing you said that I want to let people know.
Yes.
It's amazing. You said golden nugget. Look, when you read a book, that one book is not going to change your life. When you go to one event, that one event is not going to change your life. You need to participate with reading books. You need to go to events. You need to go ahead and follow people like LaWanna, and you need to go ahead and listen to all these interviews. Why? Because you're mining for gold. Every time you go to one event or one podcast or maybe you're following a person on social media or you're reading that one book, I'm mining for gold. So you start collecting the golden nuggets. And that's how you create your reality. I just needed to bring that up because when you said golden nuggets, everyone talks about it, but everyone thinks that there's that one book, that one podcast. It's not. It's little bits and pieces until you build you.
I love that. And that is so true. It's moment by moment, right?
Yeah.
And again, starting back with what I said at the beginning of the show, we met almost 5 years ago for a time such as this. So hear what I said, ladies and gentlemen who are watching. Bert and I met over 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, for a time such as this. So this is the moment that I believe, for me, I'm a woman of faith, that God was working, getting me ready for this time. And I have no idea where this relationship, this partnership is going to go. I'm just open. I'm leaning in. He's been there and done things that I want to still achieve in my life. So I'm being silent. I'm allowing myself to be coached, to be mentored, to even sometimes be corrected. I mean, some of us are like, I don't know if I like that. Well, how else do you grow, right? How else do you expand? I mean, you can't see yourself from inside the frames, folks. You just can't. You're brilliant, but again, that master coach who's out there can see the potential that you can't even see in yourself. But they also can see the things that are holding you back. So I just encourage you to, again, open up, be expansive, be willing to partner with individuals like Bert Oliva, Alexa Oliva, the Power Partners, other individuals that are doing some amazing things, not just in their business, but what we didn't get into, just some amazing philanthropic work that you guys are doing throughout the world. So it's just amazing what you all are doing, and I'm glad that I'm a little piece of the pie.
You're a big piece of the pie. We love you, LaWanna.
Love you back. Welcome, Chris. How's it going?
It's doing great, LaWanna. Great to be here again.
I'm so glad that you were able to take time out of your busy schedule. I know you've been rocking and rolling, jet setting, both for personal and business, but I'm just so happy that our paths intersected, because my life and my business is that much richer because of you. So hats off to you.
So grateful for your kind words, and it is a pleasure to be here and honor again on your show.
Well, I want to tell the audience a little bit about you. Not only are you a serial entrepreneur, but you're an executive coach, you're a trainer, you're a mentor. You work with both big business as well as entrepreneurs and business owners to help them better understand their brand, elevate that, raise awareness so that they can have the influence that they want. In addition, you are an author. You have recently, I want to make sure I get your book right, co-authored a book called Mastering, I know I was going to butcher it, Mastering the Art of Success?
Mastering the Art of Success, yeah, with Jack Canfield. That book came out a few years ago, but yes, I did contribute to that book, which was part of a series that Jack Canfield had put out.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you're the host of your own radio show, Sustainable Success, and you're a certified mindset expert, media personality, and all things amazing and wonderful.
Thanks, too. Yes. And I've actually added another radio show just recently, by the way, Business Influencers on Tel Radio.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, today we are going to talk about your business with mindset, preparation, and measures for success. So how to grow your business with those three areas. And to our listening audience, we know that as business owners, as entrepreneurs, the one thing that's most important beyond knowing what you're going to do, who you're marketing it for, is that bottom line. And I find, Chris, and I wonder just what your experience is, that we focus on what we want to do, who we want to do it for. But especially the small business owners, we tend not to really take time to map out what success will look like in those measures along the way. But I like that you've created this kind of triangular recipe here about mindset first, preparation, and then measures. So I want to turn it over to you.
Yes, absolutely. Well, like with anything, if anytime you're going to have something that's going to be sustainable over time, doesn't mean that it's always going to be great, but that you are moving forward, you're making progress. And hopefully, when it's time to either exit the business, sell, retire, whatever the case may be, you're going to be looking to get top dollar for all that experience and all that hard work you put into that business. But the reality is most small business owners walk away with nothing. They just leave money on the table because they didn't take the necessary steps to really look at this three-sided thing, in terms of how to grow your business and then exit at full valuation. So just like with anything, LaWanna, anything that's going to be, standing tall or that's going to sustain itself over time has to have legs to stand on. So even if you had a beautiful home, that beautiful home has to sit on a rock solid foundation. Otherwise, it's going to have problems or it's going to come crumbling down. If you build a beautiful home on quicksand, well, guess where that house is going? It's going right down into that hole where the quicksand kind of circles around down where it sucks things into it. So what I'm going to talk about today is how business owners, whether if you're just starting out somewhere in between or you've been in business for a while and you've had success, it's never too late to establish a foundation. And a foundation in terms of business starts with how you think. And so not only how you think as the business owner or the CEO of your business, but also the people that are working for you, you work with, how you can impact them through your example and resourcefulness to do the same. See, the secret is that when people are thinking in a different way, from a growth mindset rather than the fixed mindset, we're not operating from fear in the past and the future. You're operating in the moment. And by doing that, you have more clarity. When you have more clarity, you have more focus. You have less stress. And when you have less stress, because of that focus, you have the ability to take calculated risks, learn from mistakes, take chances, make swift decisions, and follow through with the massive action. You also have
Chris, can you just put a pin right there for a second? Because you said something, and just in case people are a little confused with the terminology, can you explain to our viewers the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset?
Sure. So a fixed mindset is typically what 99% of the world operates from. Your subconscious level of mind dictates everything that you do, from your habits, behaviors, communication, your attitude, to your emotions, to whatever action that you take. You don't even realize that's going on behind the scenes. Now, when you're operating from a fixed mindset, you're operating from the past and the future, meaning that when a situation triggers something, you get this level of fear. And when you have that fear, your mind subconsciously is going into the past, attaching it to a past experience or something even way back in your childhood from a limiting belief or beliefs. That gets projected into the future and then tells you, your future self, that this is not going to work. Who do you think you are? I'm an imposter. If they only knew that I don't know as much as they think I do. That type of stuff. And it's that very thing that lowers our confidence, our self-esteem. It impacts how we communicate. So we're not communicating in a very specific, clear, and concise way to ourselves or others. We're operating, in this case, very passively or very aggressively or both. Passive meaning that we go out of our way to please and enable others. That's a form of codependent communication because we're seeking validation from someone. That is a limiting belief. If it's aggressive, we place high expectations onto others, including ourselves. And when they go unfulfilled, we get upset at ourselves and other people because we're caught up in the control we can't control. So a fixed mindset operates in the past and the future. It's tied to expectations to outcomes. And it's always operating where it's trying to focus on the things it can't control. We can't control the economy. We can't control what's going on in your industry. We can't control the weather, COVID. We can't control inflation. But as people, we get caught up in those very things that we have no control over instead of focusing on what we can control, which I'm going to explain what we can shortly. A growth mindset operates in the moment, not in the past and the future, where fear is reduced. So when a situation triggers that fear, from a growth mindset, we can reduce that level of anxiety and from the fear by being in the moment. We're shifting away from expectations tied to outcomes to intentions, where we focus only on what we can control in the moment and letting go of everything else that's beyond our control and letting the results be a byproduct of that. So it's a shift in thinking that clearly will get you in a different path in order to solve problems, create solutions, become more innovative, and engage at a higher level with your staff or people that work with you or work for you. And you're making massive strides in the things that you can control. So here are the 5 things that we can control every day as people. We can control our communication to ourselves and others. So instead of communicating from a place of being passive, where we please and enable and say yes to everything, for the exchange of feeling validated, we're shifting away from that codependency to interdependency, where we're not going to be operating from a passive level. We're going to be operating from an assertive level. Assertive means that we're going to be very specific, clear, and concise to ourselves. We are speaking that we understand our role and duties and are accountable in every situation. We understand our strengths and weaknesses. We know our past is a way that we can gauge things, but because it's in the past, it doesn't exist. We don't have to operate from that anymore. So when we can learn to do that, we can shift from being passive to being assertive, from based on assumption and speculation, which most people communicate in, versus being very specific, clear, and concise. It's also the same if we're aggressive, where we have high expectations of others and yourself. When they go unfulfilled, we get upset, we get angry, we react to it. We can shift away from those codependent styles of communication to being interdependent, which is assertive. Number 2 is our behavior. We can control that. We can control our behavior. And when we control our behavior, it's the same thing, passive, aggressive, or both, or assertive. So it's learning to be more assertive with our behavior. We're consistent for the most part in terms of our behavior, being more calm, being more valuable rather than available, where we empower people through our example and through our resourcefulness. We're not just doing, pleasing, and enabling, and so on. We also can control our attitude. Things are happening for you, not to you. Challenges, setbacks, obstacles are all necessary in order to become, and do things different to have better results. We can't grow or scale without going through a challenge to learn and grow from it. So we see it happening for us, not to us, which the fixed mindset sees it as it's happening to me. I'm the victim. It's an excuse. I can't do this because that person hasn't done what they're supposed to do. We can control our emotions. So what that means is if something triggers something that would normally trigger maybe frustration, disappointment, anger, shame, guilt, That's okay. That's normal to feel something like that initially. However, we do have the power and control to shift from the primary emotion to a secondary emotion, to choose a positive emotion to respond to it. So instead of reacting to it through the primary emotion out of anger, we can take just a deep breath. What can I control in this moment? What can I not control? Is this a good time for me to respond to this situation? If it is, I'm going to respond and choose a better emotion, a positive emotion, so I can have more clarity, to be more focused, to make better decisions, and then to find a solution to this challenge. Instead of reacting to it and just pouring more gas on the fire and making it worse than it really is. We have control over that. Not the primary emotion, but the secondary emotion thereafter. We can control our level of action. So we can control that. So if we focus on those 5 things every day from intention rather than expectation, we can move forward and let the results be a byproduct of that, letting go of what we can't control. So this can be applied to anything in life and business. And that's something I dedicated my life and my career to for the last 20 plus years. So these are the things that, again, where I left off, are the foundation. Something now we got legs to stand on. Now we got to, in order to put things into motion and to execute, to fulfill those intentions, to fulfill those primary targets or objectives, whatever is important to you in your business or even your personal life, your wellness, your relationships, your business, whatever is most important, you got to be prepared. You have to have a plan. And I'll be happy to share what that plan looks like.
Yes, definitely. All ears.
So the plan is that we have to be very specific, clear, and concise. Now, whether if you believe in the universe or not, I'm not here to convince you otherwise. It's energy. Now, the more vague we are, we're going to be that the universe doesn't understand. It's just going to understand what you said. I want to make $1 million. Well, what does that mean? I want to make $1 million. Okay, well, that's exactly what you're going to get. I want, and you'll be wanting for the rest of your life. Think about that word, want. Want is a word, an action word that says, I want something, but I'm going to get caught up in the control I can't control. And if something doesn't go my way and I can't control it, well, then it's not my fault that I didn't make the $1 million. So you're getting caught up immediately in the control you can't control with words like want and need. Want and need are codependent words. Instead of I am, I will, I desire. I desire is the same word as need. If you were looking up in a dictionary, they're literally identical. The difference is I desire takes the ownership back. I'm going to desire to own the role, own the control I can control, the things I know and that I can control, those 5 things we mentioned earlier, and let go of the rest. Versus need gets focused on the things we can't control. When we can learn, when we can prepare, we can write down every day. You can use an app, an Excel spreadsheet, a mind map, whatever how you can follow something. You write down every day what you know and can control, and you put that down on paper. So I know I have a daily routine I do every day. I get up at 4 a.m., I meditate, I make my bed, meditate, journal. I work out 4 days a week, resistance training. I do cardio 3 days a week. I do planks every day. I come back, I take a cold shower, I eat a breakfast, a healthy breakfast. I read a chapter or 2 out of a book, and then I review my daily goals. I can write that down for the rest of my life. Every day, 7 days a week. I can write that down because I already know that, and I'm in control of making that happen. Regardless of what's beyond my control, I can find a way to make that happen. There might be certain things I do in my business that I know that I can do on certain days or every day, and I put that down. On weekends, I schedule time to be with my family. I know that, and I can put that down unless one of my family members says, well, I'm not going to be around. Okay, then I can change that. But I can put that, I could schedule a date night with my wife. So that keeps our marriage intact and we communicate in a very interdependent way. So by planning, you're now executing through discipline and consistency, the very things from your foundation to move things forward in your business, to start focusing on what you can control. Now,
Chris, can I ask you something? Because when you just laid out how you start your day, the one thing that I've noticed is everyone who has been successful. So we'll just talk about those in business, from your greats to your person next door, but they have their own success. They all have a routine.
Yeah.
They are very dedicated to that, and it's a non-negotiable routine in their life. So what you just described is placing yourself first so that you're filled, that you're refreshed, and now you can go out and pour into the world.
Absolutely.
But often, many entrepreneurs are trying to be there, do something for everyone else, and they sacrifice that sacred time.
You're not serving them at all. You can't give what you don't have. If you don't fill your cup, how can you fill somebody else's cup? You have to serve yourself in order to serve others. And there's no better gift in helping someone to move forward is through your example and resourcefulness. If you constantly do for people, you're going to please and enable them. And now by enabling them, you keep them stagnant. You become exhausted through frustration because they're draining you and nothing is moving forward. Companies do this all the time. They don't move forward. Families operate this way. Marriages operate this way. It's learning to be interdependent. Own your role and duties, whatever capacity that it is. Be responsible and then also understand other people's role and duties, that kind of where you're working together or working with, work for, where they work for you, your customers. And by doing that, that's going to improve our communication. That's going to improve our responsiveness to situations rather than react. It's going to help us to solve problems and create solutions, to learn from our mistakes, to move forward, and so on. So by being prepared like that, we can now be able to keep moving forward. We can be always one step, if not further, ahead of the curve. When there is a challenge, we already know how to address it and move through it and move beyond it, versus now constantly being in reactive mode over and over and over again. So preparation is an ongoing thing. Discipline and consistency, those two things are the two things that will help you to keep not only be prepared, but to stay prepared and to execute on that preparation each and every day. Now, I don't want to.
And so even though a person may not be at that $1 million mark, they may be, relatively new in their business journey, it's still important to.
All the other stuff is important, not just for the exit strategy. I'm talking about growing your business and creating a life for yourself, being happy, having peace, finding harmony in your life. I mean, those things are priceless. That's actually the most important thing of anything. You could go to your grave knowing that I lived a fulfilled life of joy and happiness, and I looked forward to the challenges. I embraced the setbacks instead of resist them in the past. So yeah, it changes your whole outlook, and so all these things are just go above and beyond just the exit strategy.
Well, Chris, we have about 5 minutes, and I want to take myself down and just give you a moment to speak directly to our audience. And if there's anything outside of the exit strategy consults that you provide, if you'd like to share that, you're free to do so.
Sure. No, I'd love to. And thank you, LaWanna, for giving me the opportunity to share. So I help, business owners either individually with executive coaching, or their businesses, or the business overall with all their people, to find more a foundation, to develop a structure that they can grow and expand, so they can improve their leadership, their communication. They can learn to become more innovative and take risks, and really take their business from where it is to where they desire to go. Now, I can do this personally as well. I can help people to unblock those limiting beliefs that are getting in your way, that are affecting your confidence to do more in your industry, to create more impact, and to do things that will create new income streams for you. So again, that could be individually or in businesses. But when I'm working with businesses, it's all about diagnosing where the bottlenecks and the problems are. It always starts with people, lack of leadership, lack of communication. Build that engagement, move away from codependency to an interdependent work environment. Now align that with the systems, processes, their technology, their sales and enablement, or sales and marketing, their sales enablement, and their financials. So those are the 6 cylinders of operating an effective business. So we get those cylinders of business to operate, so that engine now is operating at peak efficiency to drive your production and your revenue forward. So those are the things that I can help a business. If you're one person to 5 people to up to 2,500 people, those are the areas I do a lot of work in.
I love that. That is so great. Chris, it has been a pleasure again to have you on. It's amazing. See how I've grown, because when you first came on, I was just a Facebook Live show.
Yeah, and look at
Well,
here. You got
TV.
the TV show, and it's high class, top quality in my book.
Thank you. Well, as always, it's a pleasure having you, having your brilliance. And I love how it's a conversation, but yet it's very instructional, informative. And to those who are listening, you've been listening to Christopher Salem, executive coach, trainer, mindset expert. He is amazing. And if you just want to have that introduction, I encourage you, reach out. His contact information is below. Have a conversation. Again, he works with you both on the personal side as well as business. And if you find, especially in these times, that your business is a little stagnant and you want to get it jump started and moving in the right direction, Chris is your man.
LaWanna, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to serve, and I love what you're doing here with your show.
Thank you so much. And to our listeners, hello, and welcome to another edition of Business and Financial Raw Talk. I am LaWanna Bradford with the Bradford Group as well as Bradford Group Consulting, where we help businesses navigate their way to success by uncovering the opportunity in the chaos. And I am so excited because today I have an amazing special guest. Dr. Forbes Riley is in the house. She's backstage waiting to join us. And we are going to do a little deep dive conversation around the pitch and what it means to achieve success in your business, to see that financial gain that you want. But it's all about having that compelling message that draws people in, that makes them curious, that basically sets them up for that offer they can't refuse, right? So before we get started, I want to give a salute to our sponsor. Welcome, Dr. Forbes Riley. How's it going?
You know, it's so funny because I hear the doctor, guys, it was an honorary doctor. People are like, are you a surgeon? I'm like, yeah, I'm an emotional soul surgeon. I will get your business to a whole nother level. And I show the photo just to go, yes, this is me. So, you know, one of the things that I love to do in the beginning, and I know we're very conversational, but I'm thinking that for anybody who doesn't know me or have not seen me, you're living under a rock. No, actually, there was a time way back when where infomercials were the thing on television. I don't even own a television. I don't own a screen, and I watch Netflix and Hulu. But when infomercials were running and TV was running, I was on television like 400 times a week. And I get people don't really know that. So I'm going to play just a little bit so you guys can go, oh, I recognize her from TV. Can you see that?
Hold on. Here we go.
There you go.
Let's give it up for Forbes Riley. The reason you don't have what you want is you don't know what it is.
I grossed $2.5 billion by tweaking people's pitches on infomercials. You hear things differently than I do. I hear money every time somebody talks. I hear enrollment, engagement. Hi, I'm Forbes Riley, and today we've got a great product for you. Take a look at that.
She's got me working out of, what are these called?
It's called a spin gym.
She launched her multi-million-dollar company by mortgaging her house and her kids' education fund. She knew it was going to happen.
I think pitch is everything. I don't care what kind of product that you've got. If you don't know how to pitch or articulate it, you will go nowhere. And that is a great place to stop that, because I am all about you getting to your amazing pitch. And it means something different to me than I think most people. LaWanna, when you hear the word pitch, what do you hear?
I hear offer.
Offer. Well, that's interesting. So for me, a pitch is how I live my life. When my kids want a cookie, they're pitching me. When they want the car, they're pitching me. When I want my husband to do something, I'm pitching him to take out and it's about engagement, enrollment, and excitement. And it's funny because if you can master the art and science of this pitch, that when you do want someone to buy your product or take your course or come to your summit, your pitch becomes very fluid. Isn't it kind of weird when people do that salesy pitch like, hey, I'm a sales pitch and I'm going to get you to do something? Or if I just enrolled you and you didn't even know and you're like, yes, I want that. Yes, I want this. It's like, how do you think I sold 2.5 billion? I didn't sell anybody anything. I got people to want what I had. And the more I found that to be true, the easier and more fun it got.
How did you uncover that? Because, like you said, you're getting people excited about the message. And those of us, from coming old school, we remember having the sales scripts, right? Whatever that product was, you go through the sales, you go through your list of objections, and rinse and repeat.
Well, that is a very interesting phenomenon, because I didn't know that existed until well into my career. I've never done sales. I've never done network marketing, that kind of a boiler room. And when I finally saw scripts that people had, I thought, isn't that fascinating? And I will tell you, though, there is a moment where if you're new to the world, following a script does work. And I've created scripts, but I've done it backwards. The problem for most people when they read a script is it doesn't come from them organically. But I will tell you that once you hit on some things that work, you should always do those things that work. In fact, I play a little game here. I have a pad right here with nothing on it. My dad was a magician, can you tell? And I'm going to ask you a question. And the question is, let's see. LaWanna, would you like to see something cool? Wait, don't say it. Don't say it. I made a prediction. I wrote it on the pad. Okay. Would you like to see something cool?
Yes.
How did I know you were going to say yes? So is that a magic trick or is that part of my script? And what happened for me was I apparently came out of the womb pitching, and I'll share them at the beginning, but I have a fitness product here. Have you ever seen my spin gym?
Yes.
Yeah, this is an amazing fitness product that when I brought it out to the world, I was on a reality show and I was told it was never going to work. And, they might have been right, but I had a different vision for this. And so I've now become the cheerleader for everybody who thinks they have a goofy idea that no one else thinks is going to work. I call that Forbesing it. What have you Forbes? What have you manifested when people told you no? And we've all heard no, and we've done it anyway. So with this guy, I was excited about it. I loved it. I had all the things in my head. I've already pitched millions of dollars of product. And I would do those conventions, the 8x12 little spaces that you get. People would come by, I'd be working out with them, and they wouldn't buy it. And I did that for almost a year. And I got very frustrated. I said, I'm better than this. And then I went back and I looked at my own pitch formula. I was telling people what they needed. Oh, come on, you need to work out. You need to get your arms fit. That word need is the death of a pitch. You want to get people to want what you have. And so all of a sudden I said, well, what is it that people want? They don't want another piece of equipment. They don't want to be told how wonderful I am. They want to feel it. They want to know that it's working. They want ease of use and portability. And I thought, well, and then the pitch became this simple. I literally walk up to people and go, hey, do you want to see something cool? They always say that. They don't even know that they're part of my script. And then I'll say, LaWanna, give me your thumbs. See, I didn't say any word and you gave me your thumbs. Isn't that funny? Why did you do that? You did it because I found out that this works. And if you were with me, I'd put it on your thumbs and I'd start to do that. And within 4 pulls, you're going to go, oh my God, I feel this. This is amazing. And I stopped talking. And my pitch became listening to them. Interesting script. So I put this whole script together. I can sell a spin gym in 90 seconds to almost anybody. Well, funny thing about scripts, like you said, so my daughter went to a convention because I couldn't make one with a group of my girls who I'd been training. And my daughter listens to me. I don't know why. And she came back and she said, Mom, this is the craziest thing. I did the script exactly as you told me, and I sold almost everybody, but nobody else on our team wanted to do the script and they didn't make sales. And so I will tell you that creating what works for you is really important, because that rinse and repeat thing is true. I have the same product. I have different people to sell it to. You don't need to be, but once you got to find that. And what I'm in the business now of doing is getting you to find your perfect pitch for whatever it is that you're doing. And anybody who's watching, I know, can we see comments on Facebook right now? I think we probably can. I'm going to give you one of my big secrets, and that is stop telling people that they need what you have. Don't you find that people always come up to you, oh, wow, you need this new vitamin, or you need this new cell phone, or you need... No. We don't buy what we need. We buy what we want. So if I can get you to want what I have, I win. So do me a favor, LaWanna, hang up, put your arm up here. Touch the back of your arm. Is it nice and tight, or is it a little wiggly? And
it feels pretty good.
Girl, this is how I sold millions. Every woman's got a little bit. I know
Just
that.
a little bit, just a little.
I know the answer before I ask the question. Unless I'm talking to a super fit 22-year-old bodybuilder. You got a little bit. And I'm going to tell you that this thing pulls, it actually spins at 125,000 RPM. It's different from a resistance band. And I'll tell you what, it engages your, these are 62-year-old arms, guys. This thing really does work. And so if you want sexy toned arms and you're stuck at a Zoom desk, I got you covered. And so all of a sudden you're like, oh, I do want that. And that's how you sell and enroll everybody. And if you want one, you go to shop Forbes Riley and you can have one.
Now, I know there's some people listening, Dr. Forbes, and they're thinking, okay, that sounds too easy. It has to be more complicated than that.
Why?
I think because we're conditioned to think it is. Yeah, we're conditioned to think that selling is hard.
Well, I guess it is. Pitching is easy, selling is hard.
You know, I want to take us back to the pitch, because you said with the pitch, we're helping to engage, we're creating that excitement. But in order for me to create excitement, I have to believe it, right? I have to believe in what I am representing. And so many people they're not sold out for their own vision, their own dream, but they expect everyone else to jump in and celebrate.
So I'm going to start with a couple of things that I love to do. My pitch, I think, starts from when I ask you, what do you do? You go to a networking event, that's what they ask you, right? What do you do? So LaWanna, what do you say?
I help people create opportunity in the chaos.
Okay. Now, the problem with that sentence is I don't technically know what you do.
I know.
And what, well, you know what? Most people never talk about this minutia, but I can make money on a handshake, because I truly think if you can take that first moment and make it work for you, because I don't think people care what you do. They care what you can do for them. So very specifically, first of all, I'm going to start with your name. You know, and I think this is important. You ever meet somebody and you can't remember their name 5 minutes after you met them? Mm-hmm. It's because they didn't make it very memorable. When I'm at an event, I'll say, hey, my name is Forbes Riley. Forbes as in the magazine. I got to tell you, you're not forgetting that moment. Because when I used to just say Forbes Riley, they're like, what's your name? And we make a whole big deal about my name. Now, same thing with your name. So let's play with your name. What's your name?
I'm LaWanna, also known as the connector.
Okay, so I'm LaWanna, as in if you want to connect, I'm your girl. Just kind of change. Yeah, having some fun with that's LaWanna. Yeah, I know. This is what I do for a living. I take these tiny words and I make the magic out of people's mouths. So now if I ask you, what do you do? What if I ask the question, what can you do for me? What would you say?
Okay, so you're putting me on the spot.
Well, but you're on the spot all the time. When you go to a networking event, trust me, this is a good exercise and your audience is going to love you.
What can I do for you? I can help. Oh my goodness, I'm going to sound too technical, and I know I shouldn't do that. But I can help you develop the strategies that you need, that you are looking for to achieve the success that you want.
Okay, I'm going to drill down a little bit more. Because I think that if you can get a yes from people in those first couple of seconds, your business would increase. So what do you actually do for people?
I help them with their strategic planning.
And how do you come to that expertise?
I've had over 30 years of experience working with government agencies and corporations.
Excellent. And so if you had a client like me, do you work with entrepreneurs like me?
Yes.
And so what kind of result might I experience?
You would experience measurable results as far as increasing your bottom line or increasing your customer engagement.
So if somebody says, hey, LaWanna, what do you do? And you say, you know, as somebody who's worked for 30 years with government and private industries, I take entrepreneurs like you, Forbes, add a 0 to your income in no time. Want to know more?
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, then that opens the door to go, well, what? Yeah, come on, tell me more. Because you basically gave me what I want. I want to make more money doing what I'm doing, and I don't have your experience. Let's put 2 and 2 together and make 4. And so that, when I talk about pitching, I just enrolled you into what you do. It's pretty funny. Between your name and all of a sudden, it's not a dry, boring, because people just start talking to me, and I don't think they're communicating. They're just talking. If you're not getting a response, if you're not really talking into somebody, And I'll tell you how I know a beginner pitcher. These three words. What do? I help people. That's what everybody's. I help people do this. And I help people. Well, I'm right here in front of you. I'm a people. What can you do for me? Come on. You want to start making more money? You're going to start changing your languaging.
I love that.
Thank you.
And it's funny when the way you just said it is a spin on what Warren Buffett talks about is mastering the communication, the art of communication. Because it is your moneymaker.
We are not taught this. We are taught to whine and complain and bitch, and I don't know what else we do with people, or run stories endlessly that have no point. And I will tell you, though, those of us who are successful have mastered this art of getting other people to listen to what we're doing, to communicate with them, to move them, motivate them, get them to take action. When you want to build a team or sell a product, you got to move somebody else to take action. So we don't really care what you're saying or what you do. Well, I just love what I do. I'm so passionate about. Good for you. I got to get that. But that's what people do all the time. They will just bore me to tears by telling me how much they love what they do. Well, good for you. How does that have to do with my life?
But you know what? Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying but to discount you. We're actually taught that. When you have different coaches, they're telling you, you want to sell this passion, focus on your why. It's all about me, me, me. And by the way, did I tell you more about me?
Good for them. You know what? There's a coach on every corner right now. I would look towards girlfriend, I've grossed $2.5 billion in sales. I hear about other coaches who just got their certification in the mail from an internet course they took. Be careful who you get advice from, because everyone's got, kind of like a butt. Everyone's got one, and they're happy to share it with you. I just shake my head. And when you mention Warren Buffett, you want to learn from the very, very best. Really go for the philosophies that work. And while I suggest that everybody learns, I teach a pitching class now. I do think you need to learn to earn, but I think it's very important that you qualify who you're listening to, see their level of success. I don't want to work out with a fitness trainer who's overweight. I'm sorry, is that just me technically? Yeah, I appreciate that you're really good at what you do, but you haven't figured out the motivation or the desire to do it for yourself. That's my personal story about it. And so when I see somebody who's wildly successful, that's who I gravitate towards, because I want to go, wow, what is it that they're doing so right? And I talked lately about the 3 M's: maximize, minimize, and monetize. You want to maximize your time on this planet because it's not an endless ticket. You want to minimize the pain, struggling, and suffering by associating with people who can up-level you fast. And you got to stop talking and stop monetizing. I mean, how many times have I been on morning shows and I'm going to make an offer to you guys. I have a thing that I do, and I'm going to invite you to do it, because so often I used to talk and not make any money. You ever do that? You're not enrolling people to take action. Why are you spending your time? And so I thank you very much. I love that. And giving people permission to be successful, permission to ask for what they're worth, permission to get paid. Got to tell you, if you can't, that's the commerce that we do, the energy. If you love what I'm going to say, you're going to enroll, you're going to pay. And the closer you get to the person like me or you or whoever it is, the more you're going to pay. How you turn these things to work for you, how you decide to stand for something in whatever field you're doing. Please just wake up in the morning and stop playing small. In fact, I urge you, Marianne Williamson is one of my, I don't know her, but she's one of my mental mentors. She wrote a beautiful poem that went something about, it is not our darkness that most frightens us, it is our light. When you are big enough, you give people around you permission to also be big. And if you've never walked into that part of your life, you deserve to. And I think if you're listening to this and you're in LaWanna's world, that it's about time, especially if you're a woman. We cannot continue to do what we've been doing and expect a different result. We've got to be different. We've got to expect different. We got to be around, level up with each other. And that's what I'm about right now. It's all I'm about. Thank you very much. LaWanna has built a beautiful platform. She's got such a big spirit. I love that she invited me to come play with her. I offer and I bring to the table the idea that you can pitch whatever you do. And I'll tell you what, I make JV relationships. If you've got a consulting firm or you're in business, your clients need to know how to pitch better. If you're in a network marketing company, people under you need to know how to pitch better. I don't keep anybody's clients. I teach them. I kind of puff them up, polish them, and send them back to you, because that's what I'm all about. And then on a really fun note, totally on the other side of my life, I still love being an actress. So if you go to Amazon Prime and type in Farm to Fork to Love, it's a beautiful little movie about food and relationships and romance. And I play a New York City food critic. I co-star in it. And it's a great little project. Everyone who's seen it just smiles. So if you want to up-level your professional, your personal, whatever it is that in your world you want to pitch, that link is on the screen. And then we got a whole, and then just find me on social media. I have the most wonderful inner circle. I love communicating and posting ideas and sharing all kinds of things with people. We just live a great life. You know why? Because I decided that you get what you tolerate, and living a bad life wasn't working for me anymore. Being around people who were abusive and narcissistic wasn't working for me anymore. But I had to wait to get to a pretty old age to do that. Remember that maximize, minimize, and monetize? Let's maximize your time on this planet. You're not even guaranteed tomorrow, so make the most of today. Let's minimize the struggle, the pain, the worry, the fear, because it's not doing you any good. Let's just minimize that and monetize it. And to monetize means to just this exchange of money, get paid what you're worth, allow yourself to afford vacations and nice clothes, whatever it is that you want that makes you happy. Money isn't the end all, but I will tell you what, people say money doesn't make you happy. Lack of money will definitely make you unhappy. So those are my 2 cents. I'm Forbes Riley. It's been an absolute treat, and I want to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Forbes. And I have to just add this. Stop playing small. You get what you tolerate. Let that percolate to those that are listening live and or the replay.
Oh, I know. I need to hear that every day. Well, I hope this is everything and more that you planned. I love your smile and your energy. You are just a bright beam of sunshine in my day today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for saying yes and being here for our viewing audience. And please, let me just put this up here again. Register for the pitchsecretmasterclass.com. You can follow Dr. Forbes on all things social media or at ForbesRiley.com. And if you want the movie,
yeah, that's kind of cool. It's definitely, it's part of it's the joy. If you go to YouTube, you could probably watch about 16,000 hours of my TV series and the movies I've done. I don't really focus on that part of my career, but I love when I get to do it.
Well, thank you. Thank you so very much. To our listening audience, you have been here for another edition of Business and Financial Raw Talk, where we challenge you to shift your mindset when it comes to business and financial secrets to success. Remember, success leaves clues. And we are featuring another amazing giant and someone who's actually walking the walk, not just talking the talk, Dr. Forbes Riley. Please follow her if you're not connected with her and sign up for the class. What do you have to lose, right?
There you go. Thank you, my darling.
And just remember, in life and in business, when your vision intersects with opportunity, success is inevitable. Until next week, everyone. Bye-bye.